Hello everybody, welcome to What Culture Gaming. I'm Scott.
And I'm Ben.
And we've got I'm very excited for what we're about to talk about, which is wrong because it's sad.
It's just, yeah, I hope you enjoyed your full price copy of Mass Effect Andromeda, everybody.
All those deluxe editions.
Yeah, and all them. Did they do a season pass?
No, they didn't. I had to Google that this morning because, yeah, that would be a hell of a blow.
That wouldn't be allowed.
Yeah, basically, EA and Bioware, they've just done an official statement from the Mass Effect Andromeda team saying that all future planned updates for Mass Effect Andromeda have been canned.
Oh dear.
Which sort of just, we did a video on this a while back about how EA were planning on cutting down different resources supporting Mass Effect in the first place.
Yeah.
And saying that the franchise was going to be put on ice. And this kind of just confirms it.
This is the icing on the terrible cake, as they say.
Not that we didn't see it coming, though.
No, what did we give Mass Effect Andromeda?
I give it 3 stars, because, but that was under the proviso that you watch the review and understand that that score is based on it being a Mass Effect game. Not recommended as a first timer. It's definitely something that you should only play if you really, really love Mass Effect.
Yeah.
And I think the combat is itself really solid. But everything else was an absolute mess, from the animation to the storytelling to the whole general production.
I think it was largely as well the PR and the internet outrage as well. The memes and the GIFs and the video montages and all the the internet killed this game. It really fairly rightly so, because it was not up to scratch.
And that was the thing. I mean, they at launch, it was released EA Play. People got it early, so we actually saw it. I think it was on. I remember it being like a Friday. I think it was before the Monday release. I just remember all those images breaking of all the different facial animations, and our whole office just laughed at it. And it obviously is a shame. But I mean, having read the behind-the-scenes report that Kotaku put together, where they basically just talked to all the developers and they just said, look, we'll tell your story anonymously. A lot of the things that came out of that is just, it tells the story of a hell of a messy development. Not to just recount that report necessarily, but they had a whole bunch of studio infighting. They originally planned the game to be way more like No Man's Sky. They initially stumbled upon the same procedural generation tech that No Man's Sky would use. Purely coincidentally, they were having the same idea of a procedurally generated universe. And then that stopped coming together. They realized that they didn't actually have any propulsion to it. They were just oh, we got a bunch of planets and a bunch of mechanics. And then as development went on, there's a whole bunch of studio infighting. One studio thought the other studio was sabotaging them, and it was just an entire mess.
Just a big old mess.
People left the project. They weren't replaced. Animation was deprioritized to focus on gunplay, which is clearly evident in the game. But yeah, now we've got this statement from the Andromeda team saying that Mass Effect basically is just being put out to pasture, and the only thing that's coming in the future is multiplayer updates.
The multiplayer was good.
It was fine.
I enjoyed it.
I mean, that was the thing. Andromeda was developed by the multiplayer team from Mass Effect 3, so or the DLC team rather. So it makes sense that part of the game was fine.
Yeah.
But I mean, did you play much of Andromeda? Did you ever get around to it?
I have not yet started it, but I did play a little bit of the multiplayer, which I did enjoy. But I'm fully aware of the people not really liking it much. Mass Effect fans not being too thrilled. So there will be some portions of the internet that are sort of in a weird way cheering this, because it's haha, that serves them right. But really, the people who are losing here are the people who bought the deluxe edition.
Yeah, or just the game. I mean, a lot of because the whole the main setup of Andromeda's story is that you blast across the galaxy to go to the across the cosmos to go to the Andromeda galaxy, and all the different races are in these different Ark ships. And one of the biggest teasers at the end of Andromeda is they mention the Quarian Ark as not as coming soon, or kind of they tease it basically as DLC. They talk about it as something that it's been spotted and not as on the radar and whatever. And all the fans were always oh, we kind of want to see that race, because that was a whole race that was omitted from Andromeda, and obviously that isn't happening anymore. Part of the statement that they put out does say that they're going to revisit the Quarian Ark story in the comics and going forward. But it's a very
that's not what people want.
No, and
that's
it's
not it.
Yeah, and you kind of got this whole thing. A lot of fans, even just scouring things like the GameFAQs community or the Reddit community or just Mass Effect the Collective on Facebook or whatever. There's a lot of people saying look, this feels like we've been misled. This feels like you guys set this thing up, and even though the launch day version was a bit of a mess, you had some things in line that we were sticking around for that have now just been severed.
Yeah. So what does this mean for Mass Effect, the franchise?
I mean, we talked about it in that On Ice thing. I said then that I still do think Mass Effect has legs. As a body of work, I think what Bioware put together, especially Mass Effect 1 and 2, is incredibly strong.
Yeah.
And there are a million more stories to tell, whether it's the First Contact War or whether you still do another like new Galaxy story, I think that's gonna have to be a long time in the future.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you finished Mass Effect 3.
I have.
And the feeling at the end of then was pretty bad.
Yeah, I wasn't too. I was one of those people that finished. I was like, oh, okay, that was nice.
Right.
I didn't really look too deeply into it.
Oh,
But
okay.
I totally understand where people are coming from. I'd only played 2 and 3 though because I was on PlayStation 3.
Oh, okay.
So it didn't affect me too badly. But
Right.
I still, yeah, I get where people were coming from.
Yeah. For me, like I carried it all the way through, and like that, like Mass Effect 3's ending, like obviously the furor that came out of the end of Mass Effect 3 got EA landed as the worst company in the world or whatever when consumers did their
That's
business
right.
poll.
That's what they are.
Yeah.
Killing children.
not like overseas oil
Nestle
companies
or
whatever.
anything like that.
Yeah. And so like there was very visible negativity around that. And Andromeda needed to get every single portion of its return right. It obviously has not. And so that kind of puts it over to like, it would have to have immaculate marketing and one hell of a hook to even broach the idea of more Mass Effect. Though, I mean, I think that the series has enough positive pull from those original games. So
Yeah.
you'll have to let us know in the comments like just how much you're ready for another Mass Effect or whether you want to care or not.
I just can't even think about a way that they could even bring it back without having to perhaps rely on the older characters.
Yeah, and
Whatever
even then,
ending you got, whatever one of those 3 endings you got, that's the
colour you
universe
got.
you pick up in. Yeah, were you the green one? Were you the red one? Or were you the blue one?
I mean, like I wrote an article on like things they could have done, the way that they could have done Andromeda. I might make a video of it at some point, but like I kind of, if they were ever going to do this, they'd have to have some sort of meta level character that addresses those qualms head on, and have someone who followed the Shepherd and maybe talks about like that kind of stuff.
They'd need like a Deadpool character.
Maybe not as like, oh. No, it's like schlocky.
Yeah.
But I think they need somebody to sort of like delve in and really represent what the writers were actually going for in that story.
Yeah.
Even though the behind the scenes stuff for that Mass Effect 3 ending is itself a complete rewrite if you start reading into what that original ending was meant to be, with like dark matter and the way that was meant to go.
Right.
Basically, it's a hell of a tire fire, though it did start in a really good way. It's just a shame, really. Yeah, so basically, like going forward, it's Mass Effect Andromeda is pretty much a multiplayer-only experience. But I would recommend checking out the various behind-the-scenes reports that are out there just to get the full picture.
Yeah.
But for now, Mass Effect is on ice, which is a shame.
Yeah, let us know what you think of that. Are you happy? Do you think they deserve it? Do you feel bad for the people that are getting stung by this? Or are you one of those people that are getting stung by
I'm
this?
just down. Just
sad. Be
just
sad
a
about
shame.
Mass Effect is dead now because they've killed it.
We've got Anthem.
killed it dead.
Oh, Anthem's coming. Do you want some Anthem?
Not really. No. Bioware is not the Bioware it was 6 or 7
really
years
not.
ago.
It's really
anyway, that's a discussion for a different time, Scott.
Yes.
Thank you very much for watching, everybody. I've been Ben from What Culture,
Ivan Scott from Our Culture.
and we'll see you soon.